See, got a interesting one here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but a Stihl 084. These are cool saws. I've only messed with one other one. This one is locked up, and we're just gonna get into it, see what the cause of failure was, and maybe pull top end. Initial inspection, got quite a bit of fines in here. I'm guessing it's just mainly because these old filters didn't seal that great, but I have heard that stuff can get in behind this air box, so we'll look into that. This one's been sitting in storage for a few years. I know it was in service at in use at a local tree service. Now I've never taken one of these apart other than just rebuilding a carburetor on one. I did a few years ago. These bucking spikes are huge. It's just wild to me. I think he said he ran like a 59-inch bar or something crazy like that with this. Looks like it was running 404 chain. Just a guess. I've never seen 404 chain, but that's the biggest drive sprocket I've ever seen. Got some monster bar studs there too. Missing a chain catcher. It's been thrown off a time or two. And there's this big hole in this back piece. Let's just start like normal. We'll go top cover and muffler and see what surprises await us. Looks like I got one bolt over here. Is it just one bolt in the top cover? Or is this part of it too? Oh, there's another bolt in the top cover. Back here. Duh, gotta undo the spark plug boot. Get the top cover off. And a monstrous cylinder. So cool. Thought it felt like it was flopping around. And we got broken anti-vibration mount. So kind of wondering what shape the impulse and intake boot are. So that's a known problem with the old Stihls. Locked up there. So make sure it's just not the starter locked up or something. There's going to be a lot of cleanup on this one. Don't really have a game plan for that yet. Well, recoil's free. That's gonna be, oh, maybe we're not locked up. No, I think something's going on here. I don't feel like I have play side to side here. But if I had to guess, there's going to be play in that big end rod bearing, maybe. Hopefully it's just a small end bearing and it doesn't need a new crank. This would be real disappointing if we had to search for a crank here. Well, anyway, it don't look like it's too much more to get the top off. Someone pulled the muffler at one point in time. This might be one of those where you got to pull the whole can though. Short bolts up top. These go with the recoil. Okay, we got, looks like possibly a little bit of glitter, like maybe we got hot. And I'm gonna say that's right. Gonna try and get a view inside of here. And that is not, if it'll focus. That is not a happy piston. It almost focused. Just thinking about it. And yeah, that is not a happy piston in there. Don't know if y'all can see it. But there is it's sticking somewhere. Same place. There. Yep. So we know we're gonna need a piston. Put this back in the stand. Just don't know. I'm hoping that maybe they got lucky and this will be a salvageable cylinder, but I'm kind of thinking with that kind of damage, it's gonna be a little toasty. That's wild. There's even aluminum in the in a spark arrestor screen. I almost don't want to take this off because it's so dirty. I'd like to clean it. I may try and do that. Take it outside, spray it down before trying to pull this cylinder. But it looks like I can just undo that clamp, pop the cylinder off. Actually don't look too bad. Hold on, I'm gonna clean this off real quick. Okay, got all the loose stuff cleaned up out of there. Reach down in here with a screw wrench if I can. And for those of y'all that don't know, I believe this saw lays the claim of having the longest stroke in a saw that Stihl ever made. Not super up to date on that kind of thing, but I believe they're 122 cc's, which is friggin' huge. And they're really cool, just because they're big. One. Bolts go on before the cylinder. If I don't tell myself that, I'll probably forget. But they're going to have to be put on before the cylinder because these are small holes and the heads of the bolts are too big. So now I need to find a spot where I can gently pry on the cylinder. Didn't take a whole lot of... Did not take a whole lot of arguing with it. Okay, what we got? We have a pretty nasty cylinder. Let me grab my light, try and show you. Can you see? Maybe. I don't know. I can see it. It's pretty rough. We'll have to find out if that's through the plating or not. Looks like it's gonna be. And end up with some trash in the crankcase. Big base gasket. Durco. There's a little bit. I think that grit is just stuff between. Yeah, that was just between. Rod actually feels tight. Crank feels tight in there. Crank looks fairly clean. Yeah, it's still wet with something. Now, there's some trash in the bottom of the crankcase. That does not inspire confidence. But they were kind of talking about throwing bearings in this thing. It's kind of an intimidating one to split. Because I'm sure parts are very hard to find. But I'm going to pop this piston out, shove a bunch of rags in there, and call it a video. Just need a little flat blade screwdriver to get under this ring. Sometimes you can do it with a small pair of pliers, and I dropped something and I don't know what it was. When I say ring, I'm talking about the circlip and the piston. Nope, it's not wanting to be argumentative. Popped right on out of there. And this is really, really good, is this wrist pin is not, it's got a little bit of color to it, but it's not super blue. I mean, these will completely change color. There's the piston in the 084. It had definitely seen better days. This thing was wore out too. I mean, it was just getting to the point of being wore down. There's no machining marks left in the intake. Kind of see a little bit between the ring lands. This is interesting. It's got 2 grooves cut in the top of this piston crown, or I think it's the crown of the piston. I'm over here talking, and y'all ain't even see. Got 2 grooves cut in the top of here. I'm not sure what that does. Maybe it just holds oil, but it's got them, and I ain't seen that before. Big massive windows, the damage, and here's other good news. End of the rod, no discoloration, still that nice copper color. Same with the big end of the rod, and I thought it had play, but it did not. Whatever, maybe it does, maybe it don't. I really can't tell. It might have a little bit, but this thing is huge. I don't know if that tolerance is going to be enough to hurt anything. I don't think so. I don't think it's got play in it. But it definitely has gunk in the bottom of the crankcase. You can flush that out with skeletonized connecting rods. Pretty cool too. That's pretty large. Wrist pin bearing. Yeah, that's some cool stuff going on. They don't make these things anymore. It's kind of like finding a dinosaur, if you can find one that works. So I'm just going to stuff a bunch of rags in here and set it on the shelf, and I'll get in contact with the customer and see what their plans are. This is probably going to be a multi-part video if they want to fix it, because it's going to be a lot to fix and a lot to hunt down, I think. But it's super cool nonetheless.